Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. If this is your first time here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews on different reality shows with a lighthearted twist and a little bit of laughter. If you are here for a second or third time and you have not yet hit that subscribe button, then please do that for me right now. Okay, and also please don't hesitate to hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video or we go live, honey, because we be having ourselves a good time. So I'm gonna need y'all to join in on the fun, honey. So let's get into it. Tonight we are reviewing Ready to Love season 4 episode 5, Eyes Wide Open. Honey, and my eyes were wide open and my mouth was wide open because some of these things that were happening up and through I did not appreciate. Honey, let's get into it. The men meet in the gentleman's lounge when the episode first opens up. They meet with nephew Tommy. KG saying, I'm really excited to get some free game from nephew Tommy. Well, honey, you gonna need something because the way you was doing the mantras in the sun with that free 99 date, I didn't like it, honey. You gonna need something, okay? Nephew Tommy comes in and tells them that Troy and his COVID kisses are now being tested. He's fine and negative, but he's been eliminated, okay? He then tells them that the power is back in their hands and that they're going to be invited to a masquerade ball to see how the ladies handle themselves in a formal setting, okay? The next scene, we see AJ, Jason, Kyra, and Alexis go on a double date. Honey, Jason cannot get himself a solo date. Like, is it in his contract to only date as a group? Because, I have not seen him go on a solo date yet, honey. And Kyra, what are you doing back over here with AJ? Trying to see if that stimmy hit on that prepaid debit card, honey. Because we know that other one ain't working, child. We know that other one ain't working. Kyra and AJ, honey, pulling a Rashid and Adriana. I'm going to need y'all to get a different formula for next season. Please give us fresh talent, honey, people that don't know each other, people that have no connection. And I'm just confused as to why we have to keep doing this. They ghost you or you have a bad experience with them, but then y'all give each other a second chance up and through this experiment and it never works out well. So please stop doing that. Anyway, they're skating or whatever. And so Kyra tells AJ, she said, you told me you know how to skate. And he said, no, I know how to roller skate. Honey, AJ, let me find out you getting your roll bounce on, okay, over at Cascade. Then get into it, honey. So then AJ said to her, they sat down to the side, and he said, you know what? I just want you to know that you are one of the people in my top. So then Kyra said, as I'm looking at AJ, I see that AJ is about his business. He's an engineer. Girl, you are confusing me. Or are you confused? One of us is confused, and I think it's me. Now, it might be you. I think it's you. Because you told us that AJ wasn't about nothing. You and your homegirls gave him a whole nickname, El Cheapo. He had one card to go on a date. I know you're trying to make his title sound good with the whole, he's an engineer. No, he's a producer. That is a sound engineer before y'all get all hype in the comments. Engineer is I got it, okay? Yes, he is definitely an engineer of sound, but honey, he's a producer in the studio dropping some beats and ain't making a coin, okay? But honey, if you like it, I love it, but you shouldn't even told us that story because you tainted him for me, and now I'm looking at him side-eye because I think he ain't got not a bit a coin to rub together. But now you're telling us he's about his business and he's an engineer. Girl, go on somewhere, honey. Then we see Alexis over there and she's going in circles with Jason. And she said that she's happy and was excited that she was out going out with him, right? So Alexis said, you know what? I just really want to see if he's really feeling me or not. He's not. Or if he just hasn't made a decision. A decision was made when he was sitting on the edge of that couch last date. And Alexis, I'm about to burn your closet to the ground. Girl, you have on a custom-made suit that says fly. Child, I have had enough. Honey, I'm going to burn that closet to the ground. Do you understand me? To the ground. So Alexis asked Jason, she said, could you see yourself coming into a situation with a woman who already has kids? And so he said, you know what, I'm going to have to be honest with you. I have a hard time seeing you outside of school, outside of the mom that I've always seen at school. And she said, you don't have to string me along because I don't want to feel like I'm being stringed along. Girl, strung along. I don't want to feel like I'm being strung along. But okay, girl, because I know you're being rejected right now, so I'm going to leave your speech alone. Okay, speak your speech, honey. Speak your speech. And he was like, I'm having a tough time, just seeing her outside of being a teen mom. And then Jason said, it's tough having honest conversations like this, but you know what? I respected the fact that he was honest because it shows good character. But I mean, it's got to be awkward still holding hands and going around this ring over and over and over after you just told the girl you didn't want nothing to do with it, honey. Oh, child. So then she says, I never saw Jason's sensual side. That's what you were worried about seeing? His sensual side? You saw no side of him. He was literally running away from you as you threw yourself at him, and you're worried about a sensual side. Girl, you're just as crazy as Troy, honey. Girl, gone. Jason said, well, I'm used to seeing her as a parent, and it just wasn't a connection. Alexis said, well, you need to go after the one you want. I already know who that is. As the one he wants skates past with Mr. Roll Bounce himself. Oh, these producers shady. Child, Kyra ain't worried about Jason, honey. She trying to see the next happy hour her and AJ gonna go to so they can dine and dash, honey, because she ain't paying and neither is he. Moving right along. Now, in the next scene, we see Stacy and she goes to Ron's house. Okay, Ron got it set up real nice. Got it laid out for her, honey. Brought out the nice champagne, honey, the Dom Perignon, okay? So Ron asked her about her divorce. She started telling him a little bit about it. And so Stacy said her kids are ready for her to find someone to bring with her through the finish line, okay? So Stacy asked Ron, she said, well, how you feeling about dating? Ron said, I know the girl in my top. Y'all have become like best friends. And he had this little nervous laugh, right? So she gonna say, oh, you referring to frickin' frack? Ugh. Oh my God. Okay. Ron gonna say, yeah, freaking frack. Not freaking frack. Not freaking frack. Frick and frack, Ron. Honey, let me find out. And which one of them is the freak? Honey, let me find out. So Stacy said, I was at Chrysanthemum's house and we both figured out that we were both feeling you. So she said, I'm just trying to get down to the wire. So I need some clarity. Basically, pick me. I need to know that I'm your number one because I've never been number two. Girl, anyway, you need some clarity from this man and y'all been on a half a date. So Ron said, well, Chris has been my top from the beginning. At least he kept it real, okay? Then he said, the date got awkward because she made him choose between her and Chrysanthemum. Ron, listen to me. If you're going to choose her as your top, you're going to need to know that her name is Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum. There's an R in it. That was my Chrysanthemum. If she in your top, you're going to have to practice saying her name in the mirror, child. So then he breaks down that they have a lot in common. And the bottom line is he and Stacy have no chemistry. Okay. Then we see KG and Amber. They meet up for a date at the spa. Okay. They look cute together. And KG is on the outside on the grass, honey, because it's free 99 to sit on the people's grass. Okay. KG said, I love Amber's unconventional thought process. AKA, he loves that she's willing to split the bills. Honey, you ain't fooling me. Now, KG, listen, I like you, but I'm not liking some of the things that you're saying and the way you explain things. Honey, I don't want to say Naya was right last season, but but Naya might have been right last season. It's just certain things that you shouldn't say. And to me, what I read through that, when you said I like her unconventional thought process, it read a lot of women want the man to pay the bills, but she is willing to split the bills. I mean, let's just call a spade, okay? So then they kneel down on the grass and he says, repeat these mantras, the ones he made up on the way over there, okay? Because he ain't fooling me. Today, I am happy. Today, I am strong. Today, you're going to have to pay for this day because it's your turn, honey. Because I ain't got it, honey. These men ain't got it, child. They ain't got it, okay? Amber said, what's your thoughts on marriage? He said, hey, you want to get married? Let's get married, but it shouldn't be the epitome of the relationship. I found that interesting. I found that really interesting that On decided to give him a second chance, yet he doesn't think marriage is the epitome of the relationship. Okay. And then she said, so you're okay with being in a long-term committed relationship and you don't have to solidify with the piece of paper, basically. And he said, if you want to do it, then let's do it. But is that the end goal? No. I don't know how I feel about that. So what's the point in being so pressed to find love if you're just out here dating a date? Honey, you can do that for the rest of your life. There's always going to be someone to date. But grown women that are in this setting are looking for something. I just don't understand that. That right there, that makes sense to me. So then she says, I agree, because if they're soulmates, then everything else will just fall into place. Amber, I think you're saying what you think sounds good. I don't know if I believe that, and I don't know if you believe that. And I definitely don't believe that you believe that. It just doesn't sound right. And KG was like, she accepts me. KG, listen, I don't really know if there's anybody else here for you. As I'm looking at the women, I don't think that there is. So you've latched yourself onto Amber. She seems pretty keen on you as well. So, okay, y'all, aesthetically, you look nice. Amber does read a little bit young, but her aura reads a little bit older. But the way she carries herself, sometimes she looks like a kid. I don't know if it's the hair. I don't know if it's the face. I don't know what it is, but sometimes she just reads younger. But anywho, if y'all two are happy with it, child, then skate on off into the cheap sunset, honey. Ron and Chris. So Ron meets up with Chrysanthemum for salsa dancing, honey. Not Ron getting his footwork on, honey. Ron does it all. He sells caskets, cars, and teach salsa lessons on the weekend. Ron say, I do it all, child. So Ron, they thinking they gonna have an instructor, right? Child, tell me why Ron was the one teaching the class. I said, not Ron using his fancy footwork. Child, Ron is a jack of all trades. So he's teaching them the fancy salsa dancing moves, honey, that he's been watching. Okay. So then after he does that, he separates the groups. And so Vernisha and Joelle, they do salsas in Zydeco fusion, honey, over in the other room, child, because they sure weren't doing just straight salsa. Okay. They were putting their own little mix on it. Joelle up there singing her New Orleans salsa remix. Okay. And then, he says, I think right now Vernisha is the one for me. Keyword, right now. So then Vernisha said, our connection is just natural. It just flows. In the other room, you have Ron and Chrysanthemum, honey, and it's about to go down, okay? Because Chrysanthemum is not feeling the fact that she heard Dragonfly Jones say that she could potentially be number one. And this is my thing with Stacy and Chris. I feel like they are so used to being in the top, or being what everyone would aesthetically look at and say, that's what I want right there. They are so used to that when someone else comes along, honey, who ain't light skinned, honey, let's just call a spade, they feel like, how could you pick her over me? I'm not seeing it. That's just what I'm getting, honey. I just got to call it like I see it. So they're in there arguing, okay? And she was like, well, who is in your top? And so Chris says, in the ladies' lounge, there were other women saying they were in your top. And so he said, because Alexis was saying that she speaks to him daily, and said that he told her that she was his top, or his number one. Let me say it like that. So Ron then says, I'm having fun with the process, and, I just have a stronger connection with Alexis. Ron, what is going on here? Because you telling some lies up and through. Some lies are being told somewhere. You just told Flower Child that she has been your number one since the beginning. And you told her that last episode. I remember that vividly. Child, not everybody vying for Ron's affection, child. I guess I don't see it, honey. Because to me, it wouldn't personally be for me. Honey, I just don't see it. I mean, he may have shown them his bank statements, honey. I don't know, child. So then Chrysanthemum said, Ron was definitely not my number one. But then after playing Connect Four and drinking their weight in sugary drinks, honey, he skyrocketed on up. Child, she didn't exactly say that. But y'all know I like to zhuzh it up. I mean, she was just like, look, you were not my number one. Then you came in, said a few words, made me think you were going to pay for me to stay home and have these kids, honey, and then go get my lipo to get my mommy body back to popping. And now you're sitting here saying you going to give Alexis my check. Don't do that, honey. Don't do that. She was like, well, I don't do number two. So Ron said, it's not about number one or number two. He said, I'm looking for a partner. Can you be that? Listen, this is the thing that I don't like about Own Ready to Love. This is what I don't like about it. The men are always letting the women kind of fight for their affection. Last season, for example, Winter and Jay. Winter was laying it on thick every single episode. And this man ended up giving her a kiss on the cheek. Do y'all remember that? And honey, she was laying it on thick. And then you have Ron saying, well, can you be that? Well, what can you be? I don't like that. And then last episode, KG was telling Amber, I want you to fight for my love. At first, I thought, KG just saying anything, honey. He don't know what he's saying. But after listening to them on this episode, I feel like the men just want to be chased. And honey, no thank you, child. You are the pursuer. I am to be pursued, honey. Go on with that, child. So he said, She said, well, I am. You said you saw that in me. He said, I see signs of it. Child, I would have been like, please, let me go, honey. I'm good. But thank you, though. And he was like, well, I don't like the fact that she's getting upset over that. It seems selfish. It's more about her ego than the process. I agree. It is about her ego in a way. But to her defense, you did tell her last episode that she was your number one from the beginning. Y'all need to just leave the numbers out if that's not how you really feel. Then we see Dietrich and Tressa, and they go on a date to the spice store. I didn't like this date. Okay. First of all, y'all are already discriminating against her because she a little thick, honey. That's just a southern thing, honey. We thick down here, okay? And then you take her to a spice store so she can buy some more spices to put in her food to make her even thicker. I didn't like that, okay? I didn't like that date. It was stupid, okay? So then Dietrich was like, you know, I invited her out to see where the attraction is. You know, I felt a little something, so I just want to see what's going to happen. Then Dietrich starts ruining my peach cobbler recipe with this vanilla extract story. Honey, I don't want to hear nothing about the vanilla, honey. I use the vanilla that we get from the store in my peach cobbler, and I'm going to keep using it, okay? Then Dietrich starts saying, you know, yet again, I'm getting the homie vibe from her. See, I told y'all he couldn't be trusted. I told y'all, I said, listen, him keeping Tressa was strategic. Okay, and what he said in that gentleman's lounge at the end, I could have slapped his face. Okay, I told y'all he could not be trusted. Okay, so then he says, you know, I just feel like I'm just getting a homie vibe from her. So Tressa said, you know, I actually like the process because with the voluptuous women, a lot of men will sleep with us, but not many want to be in relationships with us. Then he lets out this long telling sigh. He's like, then he starts in on the obvious. If a man wants you, you know, he's going to come get you. He's going to pursue you, and you're going to know that that man wants you. So basically, that's Morse code for I'm not pursuing you. I'm not coming after you. So you should know that I don't want you. I don't like you, Dietrich. I knew something was not right about you. So then Tressa said, I don't think he wants to lick spices off my arm, honey. That man ain't a bit more interested in me than the man in the moon. She didn't say it like that, but I said it like that. Okay. She said, he's not interested in me, and that's fine. I knew that because if you sit here in someone's face and tell them that they're not your type, they can't miraculously become your type because you know a man is being eliminated the next episode. Child, you old jerk. Anyway, I told y'all he was playing games and wasting that lady's time. Now it's time for the masquerade ball. Alexis said, I came to slay and not to play. Honey, not a head was turned, okay? Alexis walked on in, child, crickets, okay? But baby, when Liz stepped in that room, honey, I stopped the world stopped. Carry on. I know that's right, Liz, baby. Liz came in there and said, baby, I brought the girls out to play, honey. I ain't got my usher board outfit on tonight. I ain't got my choir robe on tonight. I ain't got my cape on tonight. AJ, you see this? You see how I'm sitting? Baby, that Liz knows she came in looking fine, didn't she? Child, hair was straightened out. Giving a little Tracy Ellis Ross tease, okay? Had a little hot pink dress on, baby. All the heads were turning. And David went flocking right on over there to Liz, okay? So he goes over there. And Dragonfly, this is how you do it, honey, just to let you know, child. So here comes David flocking to her, trying to cover her up. David gone, honey. Talking about, don't give him too much now. People already think we together. Nobody thinks you're together. You're trying to plant a seed, honey. Nobody thinks you're together, okay? So then he's like, she's like, what? He said, no, it's cool. I want them to think we're together. David, again, boy gone. So then Liz says, you know, I have a great connection with David. Then nephew Tommy comes in expecting a round of applause as usual and lets them know that his wife will be in attendance as well. So he tells them, honey, mask off. Take your mask off, okay? Because it's time to get real. Everybody needs to break down your walls and tell each other who you really are. We need to get to know the real you. So Stacy asked Ron if Chrysanthemum was moved up to his number one. So she said, you know, women like us, we know where we stand. Women like who? What exactly are women like you? Because from what I saw, y'all are childish, okay? Honey, clinging to each other, thinking, we're pretty. Like, no, honey, read the room. Nobody's impressed. Child, women like y'all. Anyway, Alexis goes over and talks to nephew Tommy's wife, asking for marital advice. Girl, why are you asking that? You are still trying to communicate with any of them, honey, trying to get to know anybody. Alexis, you just be wanting some screen time, honey. I'm convinced. So then Stacy and Chris tell the men that because they're talking to like KG and I think Ron's over there and somebody else, and she's like, yeah, y'all get intimidated by our little duo. Honey, ain't nobody intimidated by y'all trying to be Phaedra and Portia from over there at Real Housewives of Atlanta. Ain't nobody intimidated by that. They're looking at y'all like, are y'all separate or are you the same person? Because quiet as is kept, not too many of the men like Stacy's attitude. And if they see that birds of a feather flock together, chrysanthemum, as Ron would say, that's probably why you're his number two. Child, let Stacy do that on her own. So Stacy said, the men are allowing some of them to block y'all blessings. Child, they really think that's cute, honey. Anyway, Dietrich, predictable behind, talking about freaking frack are my top 1 and 2 since they share everything. They my top 1 and 2. Honey, and they ain't looking at you, either one of them. Child, go on somewhere, Dietrich. I can't stand you. Then Jason pulls Liz to the side. Okay? Now, this is what tripped me out. Now, you ain't a bit more looked at Liz than the Man in the Moon, because you and AJ went on a double date with Alexis and her. And Jason, I don't even think you said hello to Liz. You might have said hi and went right on over there and started playing cornhole. But now, since she's zhuzhed up and looking like something, now all of a sudden you want to sit and talk to her. Talking about I was looking at her all night and I had to make a mental note to pull her to the side. Honey, men kill me. They really killed me. You wasn't paying her no never mind, okay, when she was wearing her cape and she was clothed with the Lord's finest. Now she's zhuzhed and you want to stand up and have a conversation with her and get to know her. Ugh. Okay, child. Liz says, when you're open, you have a vulnerability and, you're cautious about your heart. So Jason said, could I be a match for you? Then he being all touching all over. Liz was like, your spirituality impresses me. But do you watch football or go to church on Sundays, honey? What's your favorite hymnal? Like, she needs to know. These are all things David can answer. Child, do you know one church song? And I ain't talking about no Kirk Franklin song. I'm talking about get into it if we gonna get into it. Honey, because anybody can sing Stomp. Anybody can sing that, honey. We all know that one. Jason said, I just really like Liz. She's animated. She's showing her true self. You mean she's showing the girls, honey? Because what is her true self? Her true self is what she's been showing this entire time when she first showed up and started singing on the steps with David. So, anyway, I could feel, the connection. That actually made him feel some type of way. No, that dress made you feel some type of way. So then Liz asked, well, who are your tops and why? Jason said, well, you are, honey, you're God-fearing. You're like a Michelle Obama. You're like cotton candy at the carnival. Boy, please, I'm not buying it, honey. Child, pure lust and infatuation based on this moment. Let's move forward. Liz says, I like David, but now, Jason is in the mix. So I want to go on a one-on-one date to see if the connection was just for a moment. It was, okay? I'm going to answer it for you. Watch this review and then you'll know it was, definitely. And you are a sweet lady and men think that you only have one layer to you. And they didn't know that you could get hot to trot, honey. But you came in there and shut it down. And now all of a sudden, baby teeth got some conversation for you. Child, don't even waste your time. Chrysanthemum and Ron were talking, right? She was trying to make this little sexual innuendo, honey. He wasn't being bothered. He saw Alexis over there in all her little drapery. Scooted right on over there where she was, honey. Salsa'd right on over, okay? He could not be bothered with Chrysanthemum, okay? So then Chrysanthemum said, well, go on over to your little number one. I know you want to go to your little number one, honey. He did, okay? I don't understand why her and Stacy feel they're pretty is all that a man wants. Like, they actually need a little bit of something else. Child, y'all are so entitled. You used to being chose, and then it hurts when you're not, honey. It's really very telling. So Ron said, I can feel Chrysanthemum's eyes in the back of my head. Boy, if you call that lady Chrysanthemum one more time, I'm going to scream. So Alexis asked, how are you feeling about Chrysanthemum? He said, Alexis says, me and Chrysanthemum always like the same men. We both like AJ and Ron. And she was like, I don't mind a little friendly competition, but I'm not in the business of competing over a man. Well, baby, you're on the wrong show because that's what this show is about. Competing for a date with the one that could potentially be your one. So Alexis asked Ron if he thinks Chris is in it for the right reasons because she's really trying to say, hey, she's just after your money. He said, well, time will tell. And if it doesn't, she'll be surface level just like she is now. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Child, this season ain't giving nothing, honey. The men meet at the gentleman's lounge, okay? Because it is time for a decision. The men are fawning over Liz, honey. Everybody was in there talking about how beautiful Liz looked. And she did. She really did look nice. KG said, Amber, she was all in, honey, all into paying these bills. So she's definitely my one and only. David said he's feeling Liz at the moment. Joel said Vernisha because of who she is and what she's been through. And Ron says Alexis is his number one. AJ said, so then nephew Tommy said, well, who was in the bottom? So AJ said, well, the bottom would have to be Stacy and Chris. Ron says it would be Stacy. I don't like her bossy, aggressive side. Like, I'm not your child. You need to treat me like a man. And that is what I was saying. I hate to cross-reference shows, but that is what I was saying about Bree over on Married at First Sight. If you watch that show, a man does not mind a boss. Honey, a boss is a person who makes moves. A boss is a person who can stand on her own 2 feet. A boss is a person who gets the bag, okay? But bossy is sit right here and you're going to do what I say, and I don't like that, so we're not doing that. And you should behave this way because I said so. And a man don't want that. I don't care what man it is. He does not like it. Okay, Stacy? I hope you heard that. David said, Stacy and Tressa. Okay. Jason said, I'm just not attracted to her. And AJ said, Tressa, it's just not my thing. What thing exactly? What thing is it? Because she's bold, beautiful, confident. So what's not your thing? Honey, is it the curly hair? Like, what is not your thing? I'm just trying to figure out. Y'all getting on my nerves, okay? Then Dietrich, old dusty bald head behind, gonna say, Tressa, because, if I have to force flirt with you, and it still ain't there, I just can't do it. Boy, what? You had to force flirt with her? Quiet as it's kept, I haven't heard anybody or seen anybody else talk to you besides her. Alexis talked to you for like a second. We haven't heard nothing else about that. Crickets. Stacy called you Paw Paw in the very beginning, and now everybody adopted that, and now they're calling you that, but nobody's saying anything else to you. Talking about you had to force flirt with her. I cannot believe you said that when you are the one who asked for a date. See, I told y'all gonna start listening to me. I told y'all in that review when he asked her for a date that he could not be trusted. I knew something about him wasn't right. Boy, stop saying it like that. Like I had to force myself to flirt with her. Like she's beneath you. I'm disgusted. I'm just disgusted, honey. Then KG over there. So then nephew Tommy said, well, y'all know what y'all got to do, honey. Y'all know well, he ain't say honey. Y'all know what y'all got to do. You gotta eliminate somebody. Here go KG. The tension is thick. Kyra thick. Stop saying thick with a K, boy. Oh my goodness, KG. Sometimes you can work my nerves, child. So then David sits down with Stacy, okay? And Stacy said, she knows her and Chrysanthemum's friendship gets a bad rap. And David said, as we get to know each other, we aren't sure how much y'all share. And then she gonna say, oh, y'all afraid of getting caught up? See, that's the problem right there. See, this is why they don't like y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is why this is happening. Because you're saying things like that. That's not cute. Like, I know y'all think it is, but it's really not. Over with Tressa, Joel is sitting down talking to her, okay? And Tressa says, finally we get a date. Poor Joel, honey. He said, girl, and starts rubbing her arm like, if only you knew, child. Honey, this was an elimination. If only you knew. So then David shares, he was really interested in her, in Stacy at first, but then she dodged him. And then once he got to talking to her, he realized that there was nothing there. He said, I took that back to the group. And he says, the guys have decided that you are, that there is something that's not genuine about you. So the guys feel you aren't ready to love. Honey, I thought David was going to drag it out. And he was like, nope, the guys feel you aren't ready to love. And David, I know you did it like that because she ran that back last time about you wanting her bank account and her social security number. So you felt like this was the perfect time to let her know exactly how she made you feel. Honey, I peeped that. So she goes, wow, I feel bamboozled. Now, Stacy, how? Honey, I know you're used to being picked and now you're in shock. This is called shock. Those tears are not because you want to stay. You came in and you should have shown an independent woman and made genuine connections. But instead, You gravitated to Chris, started acting like girls gone wild at this old age, as big and as old as we are, and acting like, we're the pretty girls in high school and all the boys want to come to the yard. No, these are men, honey, and you played yourself. Girl, gone. She's like, what? One thing about Stacy B, she has never been on the bottom. Well, honey, it's the first time for everything, okay? And she was like, I was cheated. No, you weren't, okay? You didn't have a connection with anybody. The men saw straight through you, as I did, episode 2, okay? And it just wasn't a connection here for you, and that's okay. Child, pick yourself up and dust yourself off, honey. So David said, you know what? Looking at these tears and her sitting across from me, that was the first time she was real. Ooh, baby, David did not come to play. She's like, I feel like I let my kids down because, girl, honey, y'all stay crying at these eliminations. Girl, bye, honey. Your kids will be fine. You will be fine. I'm sure you will meet a man. You can find a man going to the mailbox. Just make sure you know how to talk to him. Joelle tells Tressa, you're a queen that deserves a king. So, okay, let's get to it, Joelle. I like you, but I'll add, honey, just tell her what it is. And the group decided she wasn't ready to love. Tressa said, it's unfortunate, but my king is out there. And you know what, Tressa, you are absolutely right. Y'all gonna have to do better. Television networks in general, y'all are going to have to do better. And especially Ready to Love. Let me tell y'all something. We need a different variety of men. Everybody doesn't like the KGs. Everybody doesn't like the bodybuilder type. Everybody doesn't like Joel with his chest out, honey. Everybody doesn't like that. Some of us want a Rick Ross, okay? Some of us want a DJ Khaled. You don't know what people like. There needs to be someone for everyone. I hate how you guys put a token, it's a token something on every season, okay? So you put Tressa on here, which she's thick, and so is Vernisha, and I haven't heard Vernisha being in anybody's top except Joelle. And you put them both on here. They both are aesthetically different because Vernisha is thick, but she carries it differently than Tressa does. And their demeanors are quite different. But at the same time, there needs to be a variety of people so that people can make genuine connections and this show can be perceived as a success. Because right now, it's like an episode of Survivor. Basically, everybody's just trying to make it to the end to say, I won. Because we all know when we get to the reunion, Stacy's going to be single. Chrysanthemum's going to be single. Ron might be over there with Alexis. Alexis might be with Troy. Troy going to be with everybody backstage. So, it's just, you're wasting our time at this point, okay? And, the gist of this episode to me is I'm going to say this. There is just people that are already clicked up, and we should just basically elaborate on their storylines at this point. Liz and David, because Jason is not interested like that. It was only because he saw the way you were looking. AJ and Kyra, go ahead and give us Rashid and Adriana realness, okay? And go on off into the sunset. Alexis, you might as well go on get over there with Ron. Dietrich, you can go home because there's nobody else here for you. Chrysanthemum, you are going to go home, and then that's going to be the end of the season. Honey, it's so predictable. Child, anyway, I did the best I could do for y'all. I hope that you enjoyed this review. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.